I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, posts, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no pops. These Mola worshiping pedophiles wanna feed out children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the Golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive.
I do it die for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft stealth spit. Can't be tied down, even seat belted. I look down, I see green like a silk. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I just smelled it. You did the future's eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked, the cards, my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. You bust almost righteous, I felt shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. My heart, body for a monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly though, haters wanna crucify. A real man, I still stand with the still at hand. But with Hiller man, it's not Cypress Hill. I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie. I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as your goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm data space ace to y'all. Buster stuck in the cages, face off. After a shape, the state is a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, spray the adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel of a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lies what your fans get. The rules and perils what I transmit. As a transcript, or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Who wants to get his own crew? Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of pie. And don't want to go for the traffic. And go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas in Jackson feel broke. Listen to me, young people, old people too, mostly black people. I'm talking to you.
Sure. Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah, I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, bow, Big Mac, whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side ops, looking past the shot spot. Third eye gang shit drops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For foes, my heart's cold as an icebox. I'm saying that ops. From the skybox, I got scope on you pilgrims. The scope with some rules. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yeah, and blind to the fact that blood, we gon' have this real song. Warrior spirits inside me. That's where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script is played out. They keep us engaged, play game or rage. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should be disobeyed out. Forehead and knees off the floor should have been prayed out. The draft is on, COVID's no issue. Could've bloated in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle to who holds the pistols. The debacle's about who owes who the fiscal. Disregarding the aboriginal issue. We not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, bow, Big Mac, whether earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech, yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker on me, stand on 2 feet, one turn the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence, mostly disguised compliance, silence by clients, from conspiring to novice, other aspirants of violence, tyrants of fire, trying and giants who hide, I'm trying to fight. In environments of migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hype men. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm non-client. Our refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push all the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress, don't duck, no wreck. Drill music for real. My soul they don't possess. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big Mom says come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. There's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, or Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. I teach you up. Shine shows for the conscious minds, y'all. And with that on the tumble, draw. I had a vision the past night, yeah, a circulus round. Created successful reality from a virtual now. How? Stand on my square cause they usurp your power. Them same little sneaky breezes that hurt you. They style all up in your face, all up in your space. And I ain't talking all bros, but dog calls my whole trace. So I walk tall kids while y'all cross slow race. I stay focused on walking through them tall moon gates. Draw magic shirt around me, they keep me from harm. The law fat shakes, bird sleep will pick me up calm. Mortified that earth, turn me from that knees to a bomb. Blow the joint to split the range, the boy in the 70s. I've encompassed my inner demons, 480-degree angles, surrounded by angel of shiny elite angels. Thank you, and I of course am the chief triangle. If I die before I wake, well at least I'm flying plain view. I am my circle, how we love it four corners. Wise as a serpent for certain amongst foreigners. Out of state, out of place, in a space they storing us. Learning firsthand of what fate was forewarned of us. I recall when bro and I spit flow, slow man fly in the shell and shout, Hampton kept slow. Stay high, years later he's the same degree, just gain density. Gave my synopsis, he's toxic. I prayed I could say I behave by locals. I've raised my moral ground. Way how my character stay fly, the conduct squared up. Self-esteem, the day sky, new God on what the world's been waiting for. The days not. May I then I don't abide by the same ethics. They feign respect, yet obtain the credit for keeping the obelisk erect, but with strange ethics. But the epic of my name will reign and remain epic. Circumscribe my passions, my squares, my lift. Ask, is it worth the ride? Yeah, it's rare I spit, but the beach churchified, so I bear my shit. It hurt, I cried, this kitten that it tried to eclipse my soul, bounce back from it, announce it, I'm done with being the sacrificial lamb. The jungle I run it, thus the lion conquereth over this numbness. Made a conscious shift, even in darkness the sun lit on you false lights. Don't have to be gold to glitter. Actors of the paupers just for show, go figure you dig, pounding you bamboo or gorilla. I'm built like a silverback with hill track, no illa max than me. Masturbate her back, originally pretty. Take the mask off, 360 on my square. See the circle, if not your mask off. You poemish, dash your salt. The dialogue's trash talk, your past lost. Leave a footprints in the asphalt. You've an outline correction, last roll. I blast off my crash ball to the next zest of living. Secretly sex some whose ass off. When she walked the ass off, I told back to it like who makes your Yanni sing. Her response, she dons me king. To who they gave me the script, my ops the prescription. This is my vision's description. Listen, I'm standing on mine, my circle is me. I absorb your hate and make it work for me. Transform into fuel as I evolve. Advance this abnormal, don't form and leave y'all right where y'all started at. Let me impart a fact. She'll be sitting in my ship as we chart the map. Thinking in destiny, the turtle and the hare. Acknowledge me as the circle and the square.
In my music, and in a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late for an apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down with suppressors attached in a war zone. Revolution could start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the clock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. O'Neill's too late when the caps get peeled. Don't believe the GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red in my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. From above, I be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme. Push. Step, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna shout everyone out. I just want to pull something up because I had it on the phone. I thought I'd pull it up over here. I'm still in the fast, y'all. It's just weird as it sounds. I'm still in it. I might even extend it, but we'll see. I wanted to read something. I'm not beating up on the Chinese people. I'm just saying, like a lot of us shop on Amazon, right? Let me shout everybody out that's in here, and then I'll get into it. Okay. Hey, Omek, what's up? What's going on, fam? Baby girl Slider, what's up, mama? The girl Turtle, Dev D, I'm gonna shout everybody out. Millennial, what's up? I can't see the screen. You can't see the screen? I'm in the shade too. Let me see. Maybe they're. I'm not. I don't want to really mention them because it gives them a little fake power and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't really care about their little fake power. Can you see me now? Is it give or take? Is it a little? Let me see if I can tighten it up on here. Retouch. It's off. Let's turn it back on. Yeah, I was just talking some smack a little earlier. I like to push the envelope sometimes. At least, okay. Now, well, let's come out of green state. I was going to give a different background to see if it might, you know what I'm saying, do something. Let's go coming out. God dog it. These bugs are having a magnificent time. Right now, I think every one of their platforms, if you tap on something, not only is it slow intentionally, it is doing things, and I've heard other people talking about this over the last couple of weeks. I noticed it a couple of months ago, and there was some individuals who wanted to say that, oh, it's just that probably the phone's on, the tablet, the computer, the laptop, and all this other stuff. That's not it. That's not it, okay? That's not what it is. And this is deliberate because in most places, I would like for any of you in the suburbs or the cities, well, the suburbs too, because y'all got a lot of those antennas and stuff around, to look at your Electro Smart or whatever and see if it's up over the 38, over the 50, if it's in the 60s and 70s, and it's continuous. That means that right now, they're sending signals out through what y'all call the internet and all this other stuff, right? To enact, or they're activating slowly a lot of people's cans, all the things that may be harmful or detrimental to those who are living the physical life and not the consortium of the spirit, soul, light, sentient, whatever term you may want to use. So if that's the case, then you know what I'm talking about, okay? So my apologies for that, but it's kind of dark here too, and it's kind of weird that you see the sun, hon. Dev, I got you. Sharon, what's up, mama? Salutations, everybody. Hey, Brian, what's going on? What's cracking? All right. Got baby girl Slaughter, I got you. Sharon, I got you. Let's make sure I got everybody. Oh, okay. Everybody, you can see all right, because I know it's a little dark. It is. My eyes are really good. But as I was saying, okay, now I get. What I was saying is, I'm not beating up on the Chinese people. Far from it. I'm actually lifting some of the voices who have actually, for those who TikTok or whatever, and sometimes they remove them, who are pointing out the fact that yes, we're involved in a lot of stuff, we're selling stuff, but a lot of stuff, that's something, some individual I know from New York saying, don't buy none of that stuff, bro, because I want to see, they say to me, I want to see you around people who I've known for a long time. Now I'm not even talking about my Chinese cousins. I'm talking about people who I've dealt with, whether they Muslim, whatever. And they have said, man, stay away from that crap. I always state, I want to get American made, but you got to be careful here. Third-party testing doesn't always secure the responsibility, because you need to know that there are some individuals who are, how do you say it, cheating the system. So they're putting a bad product up, but they're claiming third-party, and they're using, well, they're using a fraudulent process, and then putting it online, and then people go and they purchase it based on the fact that they think it might be a better quality, and it's not. Back from the late 90s, early 2000s, right, and even up, we know that a lot of stuff came as far as animals and baby stuff was causing serious harm, whether it be in the dyes, the chemicals and processing, causing a lot of cancer. As y'all know, cancer is up in 4-year on babies and dogs. So when I state the things I state, doesn't mean that you have to take it serious. I always ask that you research it. But everyone's playing their part. And if you're looking at the factory size of it, how many of y'all seen a video showing one of the meat packaging companies or a facility that processes the meat? And I remember I expressed to you, I have a video, I can't upload it on none of these platforms, that shows you these tall, dark, and light-skinned folks in these yellow harvesting human bodies, like real, not fake, y'all. I've had it, I think I had it for over 10 years. And about 12, 15 years. I look at it every once in a while, and it's legitimate. Mexican, Chinese, melanin, it is mostly light-skinned folks, and they're just butchering them up, taking the bones, throwing them into a chipper, hooks. Oh, it's just, and is it here? It looks like it could be on an island. There's other videos on the so-called dark web. I don't mess around on there, alluding to the fact that there are ex-government islands and stuff that they're processing this meat, and people are catching on, so they want to go to 3D printing, poop meat, and all that out of Japan, Hindu, all these different individuals. But the thing I want you to pay attention to is, it's not the people like you, unless that's part of your thing. Y'all have heard Spielberg, all these individuals, Freddie Prinze, when he had to do it, but he was already gay with a daughter, eating children. It's a real thing. I've been overseas. I've went through certain museums. I've read books. I've talked to people that when they were in the youth, the things they saw. There's a reality to this, and they want to hide. Why would you, if you're all powerful and you work on the side of Satan, for those who believe in that, and you do all these mischievous things, why would you be afraid? Why would you need to hide it? Hollywood, all that, the human-sized cakes, the bodies that look like giant turkeys, but laid out could be a goat or a person of interest, right? There is a lot of things going on, and the fact that they feed you the relations. When they feed you something outside of what they're supposed to feed you, and it's sad I have to say they feed you. It's never meant to be that way. I mean, think about it. Up until the 30s and 40s, we had how many? We had over 200. And how many farms? We were the original farmers here. We tilled the soil. Over 2 million acres, worth over $500 million, or $500 billion, $500 billion. Like, you can't make this up. And they stole that away. How? Deaths, fear. So I put a video up, and I've been saying, look up God Killers, Prison Planet, if you want to call it the Hulk or whatever. I don't, The reality is, and sadly, you look at Martin, what's his name, Roland Martin, and Gates, Henry Louis Gates. We can go on a plethora of names. The betrayal is so deep that most can't see past it, because the indulgence, bloodlust is real. But when you move past, and you know how it is, the circle, you want to join a gang, they jump you in, and then they hand you a pistol, and this is real. And you got to kill a mark. And it's probably somebody innocent. They laugh, joke, drink, get high, inebriated, right? And then you're part of that clique. But it becomes something because you belong to a family. This is the circle of entertainment, contain, big magic. I'm not spilling any beans. I'm not telling on any one individual. I'm pointing out the fact that most people are in this lucid dream state, and America's the biggest slave consortium, the biggest. The most free is the most enslaved. And I've been saying this for far too long, and I said, well, if somebody else said, somebody remembered that I've said this from where I grew up, and they were like, oh, check this out. Hey man, this is recent, man. So some people started to come through. And they shared it. I said, well, I'm going to put it in a video. I'm going to share it with you. I didn't want to be in it all up in the video dancing. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I just want you guys to see it so you can get the full effect. And the credit's there. You can see it can be shared. Fear, false monetary gains. Right now, the dollar is like less than 90% of what it's worth is. I mean, 10%. And the people in the banks and in this is the eternal combustion that they've created. The banks, the phone companies. The reason why you can never get me to be a citizen or any of this nonsense, regardless of what some ignorant people did. I didn't. I utilize it because they need it, though they have the living creature in front of them. By the definition of what living is, creature. You're of the best quality, and the poor quality is to ensure that you're fractured, that you never attain your truth. When we talk about Tardy a lot. It was the best stuff we've ever created. They had to change that and give some people some other hope. It's not dismissing, but the truth of its conditioning and build. Let's say everybody partook, but when you look at the history and you get through the lies, you start to realize that the lies are there to keep you at a certain. And the reality is the melanated people of this earth built all of it. It doesn't matter how anyone feels. Fear is a consortium of the destruction, the deniability, to stay separated, divided, to stay in a hateful contextual. I was just watching something because I was looking for it. I was watching about that serial killer in the 80s in New York, upstate, running around murdering people, cab drivers, bashing their heads in, cutting their hearts out, some very violent, excuse my language, very violent stuff. And then when you look at the picture of the individual, if you type in, well, what's his ethnicity? Because some people want to know, because everybody buys into the ethnicity and the race of stuff. And you notice Joseph Christopher, Gerard Christopher, whatever, whose father was an avid hunter and was training him, kind of bushcrafter. And he left him his guns. And then this guy, this failure, I don't know if he was in the military or not. I didn't look at his wiki. But then you look at him, and when you put in his ethnicity, and the first thing they throw up there is American. They don't say the fact, is he French? Is he Jew? This, that, and other. It's like America, this so-called government needs you to be stuck in this division, this hate, to be schizophrenic, to be in panic, zealous, egotistical, in competition, going against, fighting. And that's the reason why when I say what I do, it's because I could challenge anybody and I tear them apart. And it's not because I want to tear them apart. I see their weaknesses. And then I use that either they'll stand there and they'll take it, and then I'll explain to them why, and then they can be who they're supposed to be. Well, at least learn or try and attempt to figure it out. Boot camp, they tear down what you think, they tear down you, it's always with you, and then they train you to be this soldier, sailor, airman, or whatever, right? And you learn these skills, and you go to schools, you learn a trade, you learn hands-on. The world that they're all in is not hands-on, it's all mental, it's lies, and that's the reason why I point out the poor quality of through Amazon and Prime that they keep selling for a damn dollar. And it's more than that. It's about control. The saddest part, everyone wants to hold on to the devil and into God. They gave you that to keep you conflicted. You are supposed to become something so more. They need you stuck. If you study the religions and the contextual ideology of God, what the hell would he need to tell you any for and make sure you need to remember if the enemy can lie to you and give you false memories? You don't get it. Some would say in the Bible, because it's contextual to, no, he's going to do that, but he's going to punish him in the end. So that means that you can forego your walk, your natural example to be exemplary in walking. See, I got to see. No, nose hair itching, man. I gotta need to trim them things with my nose trimmer. They be going in and out and back. Oh, it just went and it itch. Anyway, and they need you to focus on an individual entity or something as that which deceives all. That's a network. You gotta remember, they didn't conquer America. They came here as a corporation. And you know how that is about hostile takeover. And that was at the falling, to make sure it doesn't happen again. And in doing that, as you know, some of the readings I've done, you know, the people that made fluoride, that original land, the capsule air, the deaths, the cannibalism, the origin of the Vatican and Catholicism. Remember, I read that to you. The video's still there. I'm not going to categorize it. You need to look at them all anyway. And it shows you the depravity of these individuals who walked into that darkness. Now, are they being guided? Of course. You shouldn't even be bothered by that. See, fear is intricate. It wants you to have a foundation of blame. They have created this, they've distilled you to a point where all the minerals are going, so you have to have this, I want to go down that I want to go down that path. I want to be the stream that goes in that. No, I want to be the stream that goes down that gully over there. I want to go through that channel over there. You know, and you don't even know where you're going. So the water runs rapid and free all over the place. There's no focus. And I'm not talking about building a dam and this, that, and other, and redirection and what they did. To shape the earth, to paint a narrative, to have people at odds with each other, or to be able to see when you wake up. The waking up is happening, and it's happening a little faster. So what's the contingency of the enemy of self? What do? They need to bring in the woke movement. They need to bring in, have everybody buying into it. You see how when everybody finds out they're native, right? The first thing you do, not even to give a name, you just grab it. Yeah, I'm gonna be Anthony Weir, Joseph Smith. I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Turtle Gang. I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And disproportionately, because you're not even walking in your true epitaph of who you really are, the true canvas, the painting, the oil, the pastels, the acrylic, the enamel. You're not the watercolor. You are walking not as the blueprint, but you're articulating another person's wrist flow and their brush. It's going on all over the world. Individual that sells that iron and all this other stuff, I had purchased that. I still at the bottom. I had sent off the amount to get it tested. The guy gets out of Georgia, the brother always on Facebook and this, that, and other. I've been commenting on his page telling me, you're a lie. I got the results back. It is not what he's selling. Y'all will buy into it. He's just a face like any other thing with all these fake doctors selling stuff. A lot of them aren't even doctors, they're actors. But they allow this. Well, like on my page, right, I've got new subscribers, I've got all this watch hour, and yet they want to hold the little bit of chump change currency and they want to keep my stuff away. This shows you how weak they are, and they don't know what they're doing to themselves. I can only explain it this way after fasting, as long as I have been, and meditating to be able to express this. I don't care what they do. They can remove it if they choose. It doesn't stop my fluidity. It condemns them further. I can't go into that because I'm not here to voice that. I'm, you know, we got the FAFO off, forget all that. What's going to be is going to be. And if you believe in one consortium who's lied, then stay there. If you are looking to be beyond the belief structure and be sound in the firmament of your, without articulation of your existence, then you should move that way or stay where you're at. Enjoy the steak. You know what I mean? The system, I have it the same for saying, the system, the corporation, the ideology that put everybody in this composite. And to walk into it as diligently ignorant as they can. Because everybody thinks they're better than the next. I am no better than you. I'm different, but I am no better. I like the Jannah, but I know what balance is. And y'all have been so the imbalance has been so strong with y'all for so long. You know, there's things I can't say. I probably would have made the perfect spy. Even though you should, it's for you to figure it out, find out. There's certain things I can't. So I will still continue to articulate it the best way I can. Poor quality resonates in the bad frequencies. All the collusion, the conspiratorial, to conspire against you. It's all, the manifestation of all walks of life, regardless of who's been denatured, who's been manipulated genetically or whatever. I'm going to read some things to you. I truly hope, this language, I truly hope that with some of you, you find value in it. Max Mean hit me up on one of the videos, one of the posts I made. And of course, I do a lot with Mac, man. That's my boy, man. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's my G. I respect him. When I was living in New York, I may have walked past him or getting pizza in Bronx Sound. I don't know unless he's been gone for a while, if he got out of prison. Because, you know, my father was locked up at Rikers so many times. And some other family members and friends and yeah. So you never know, you know what I'm saying? But I always express to people that I know all. I do. Now I don't want to see your faces again. Well, the last time, I don't want to see your faces there. I don't even want to mention that again. When you reset, you get clarity. You move a little different. I didn't do my headstands today, which is a very integral part. And a couple other things that I do have to do, I don't allow anybody to see. I'll get it done. Yet, I am not beating up on China at no way, shape, or form. It's not because I got a little Chinese in me. I hate that little China. Because those are my relatives. It's because, just like here, you have people, get this, they don't know what to do with it. And it's to their own detriment. The betrayal, they think, is outside. The eating of flesh. Because they're doing spells, they're caught up in all these. It's a million times much worse. Regardless of how good it feels and what those believe they're accomplishing because they get a little truth or whatever. To purchase something, you expect to get the best quality. They can block me and keep me down at 3,000 followers all they want. It shows how weak they are. I'm not even smacking them upside the head. I am alluding to a serious fact. That dynamically, when you have to move in that frequency, and you think that you have committed to be a loyalist against everything living, and because your blase blah is being entertained, and you're being told that there's nothing, don't worry, none's gonna come. It always happens. Just build your bunker, just, you know, get ready and get the best thing that air, you know, scrub air for at least 10, 15 years and get stuff to let you know of radiation seeking in the ground. Like when everything is destroyed, right? Wave comes in, pulls the city, destroys it, pulls a lot of it out to the oceans, nothing new. Well, there are plants, there are things by design put in certain places in this country and on this land and all lands that when they're destroyed, they're going to release what you would consider radiation, poisons, and toxins. The ocean and stuff's not going to clean it out. It's going to be in the air. So there are individuals building 205, 200, 300, 400 million, dollar bunkers that go down very far. They have the logistics of this nomenclature and ideology. I'm not saying it's safe, but you don't have that fiat. This is where we get into the who survives. it's all about fear, complacency, and the fact that, yeah, you do come back. This time it's not, I'm not even here to talk about that. I already said what I had to say with that. Everything's moving along, but the poor quality of cells, the individuals who can make fake eggs and fake watermelons and fake cabbage and fake lettuce and celery, and they actually sell it to people, and fake fish and everything else, and they want to get it out there. When you become that disease, that parasite afflicted on your own, when you start being looked at as cattle, and whatever they want to feed you, they're going to put it in your mouth, and you're going to do it yourself. This is intricate details when you start looking at it all. You're going to get poor quality. And then how do you keep it going? As long as you have, you saw recently, you have these knuckleheads walking around racism and carrying the American flag with the khakis, blah, 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 getting out of the back of U-Haul. I mean, think about it. You have these individuals who call themselves Israelis, dressing up like Muslims, and they've been fooling you for how long? For about 40 years. You know what I mean, cuz? Acting like they're terrorist organizations, this, that, and other. There's a reality and there's not. It keeps you stuck in who's going to blow what up next, who's going to do whatever. If I was to say that Mossad was out there operating at high ends, detective, all these different organizations blowing up, using mentally handicapped people like the idiot that shot at y'all's president, right? It's a Fed, you know, somebody to get disposed of, or fake it, whatever. This keeps the circle going. Now, while things are being manipulated because y'all really have no idea of what you're capable of, the science that is allowed to keep you stuck, so that way they can subject you. You got to remember, now, if you're willing to eat babies, drink blood, or put it in the monster, you know what I'm saying? If you're willing to poison the food, the frequencies. I mean, think about this. I was telling T this morning, I says, you know, over in Page, in my $1,000 apartment, my dual complex, patio, magnificent. Nobody can, you can't find no place like that for that kind of. Anyway, I would have the microwave plugged in. I unplugged it, you know, a year before I left. I didn't use it anymore. I'd have the microwave plugged in, the washer dryer plugged in, the refrigerator. I had a mini freezer that I kept in my closet that I got rid of before he came, because I used to always go in there and get my ice cream at night. I didn't want to go downstairs in my closet. It's little mini freezers, you know, like an EcoFlow one, but you know. Anyway, bathroom, well, lights on, TVs plugged up, with games plugged up, internet, light on every night. Sound system always plugged. Now, you don't have to operate something, and you know, trickling, right? For those who are in electron, you know, in the electric hemisphere of things. My electric bill was always around $50, $65 a month. Here, we just charge stuff up every once in a while. TV be turned off if it's on. That ain't even $1 a day. Not even, far from it. About maybe 15, 20 cents for those who know how this works. Fan, if you know how it works, at 50 cents. Freezer, another 75 cents. Maybe in a month, $5 to $10. Refrigerator, $5, $6 as well. The line as far as drawing, depending on where it's turned up to. That's like what, about $15 a month? And electricity. See, people don't want to know how things really function when it's based on $1. It's based on competition, poor behavior, poor quality of your existence. And if something comes along that can, in time, better it, even in what could be the last those or not, I like to see people being hopeful. and standing in that hope. Now, why don't you get your phone turned back on? Well, I mean, I could have it. I can get a better phone than that if I want it. You know, I don't want it because I'm not going to partake in something I have nothing to do with. It doesn't matter. Look, y'all don't know this, but the so-called federal government, this corporation, has records and information that goes back on you. They've convinced you that blood work means take care of your health. If that was the case, then you wouldn't have the Rockefeller and the Rockefeller Foundation and all the other cancer and all that wouldn't exist, because there wouldn't be no cancers, man-made cancers. There wouldn't be no toxic poisons. They got a measles outbreak that happened not too long ago, remember? And people refuse to see it for what I just got glue from the back of this thing on my leg. Oh my goodness, I got mineral oil though. But nobody wants to see these little things. Poor quality doesn't always mean the things outside of you. It means having you a poor quality. I have this individual I follow on YouTube, but on Facebook he wants to spam my account with his YouTube channel like I'm supposed to come over there figure it out, talking about things that I've been pushing for a long time as if this individual has an idea. Ignorance, ignorance, it does not choose you. You choose ignorance based on the quality of your nurturing. Sadly, the majority is nurturing, and then you all can see it, the majority of y'all's nurturing has made y'all the poorest quality of who you actually are and what you are. You sublimely have walked in the physical aspect of your existence. And I'm not beating up on the Chinese people. It's just impossible what their forefathers did. What you see in happening in Palestine is the heart. But what y'all don't know about those people in North Korea, certain places in South America, Cuba at one time, what's going on with some of the Papua New Guinea, and places you know nothing about. That's pure enslavement. But you can see it. Look at the individuals partaking in it. All right? Look at the individuals partaking in it. Can you condemn them? Or do you condemn yourself for not doing anything to stop it? Do you condemn the government, those participating? Condemnation will never be the answer. It's what keeps the cycle and the cyclic response to things. Let me finish this because I got to start drinking green tea and dandelion. Now I can get into my soursop. Anyway. Individuals are going to still run around, call themselves black, this and that. And if you look back at it in the 40s and 50s, even up to the 60s, you call somebody black, you got on alive because they still knew who they were. You have Native Americans were having a hard time to capitulate to the truth. I was watching this little Mexican guy in California cursing his sister out with the kids in the car. This guy was a woman beater, been arrested, and actually he's on parole until 2026. And he's just out the car window calling the sister Nick. See, this is where I have this phonetic problem with. But I want to read this to you, and in that way, you take it however you want. I consider everybody my family, but we're going to be past this nonsense of who's what and what's who on the land and all this other nonsense. I can't parlay it and hold on to something where individuals are going to disrespect themselves for a false narrative. So I'm going to read something to you, okay, in my notes. Pull it up. All right, let me see. Pull up the right stuff, actually. Okay, that's not the one. Hold on. Okay. Awesome. Before I read this, let me just read a couple of quotes because you know I'm big on the quotes. I've got tons of them. The dogs with the loudest bark are the ones that are most afraid. Now, that's by Norman Reedus, but that's something I heard when I was coming up. Now, when you look at rules, right, we're just going to jump right into rule 2. Your word should be like a blade, used sparingly, but with precision. You grab your little butter, right? You want your half a tablespoon, you spread it on your toast. You do that with precision. You don't want to fall on the floor, this, that, and other. You don't want to use a hot knife because you know that the butter is going to pop somewhere, this, that, and other. You want it just what you like it, right? So your word should be like a blade, used sparingly, but with precision. Speaking less makes every word more powerful. He who says least, okay. If you master restraint, people will listen when you do speak. A lot of you know I've done a lot of stuff on here as an act because it drives you. It raises your estrogen or your testosterone where you because you're angry, you're resentful, you hate something, all these things that are proponents of how do you say it? It's like vitamin-rich bread. You know what I mean? These things you've been enriched with, that doesn't make you rich by the narrative what you think rich is, which is a worthless 10-cent dollar, if that. I think it's 0, but anyway. Okay. Never assume that loud is strength and quiet is weak. Don't ever do that. Okay, don't ever do that. Okay. You know, when you look at an animal, it's the lion's, I think it's the lion's silence that signals danger. When the lion's sitting there, that's, you know what I'm saying? The roar is just a warning. Okay? Not all those who are loud are not dangerous either. Because sometimes those who are loud are just tired. Sometimes those with silence just don't know how to articulate it. They're confused and conflicted. Yet the majority of the time, the loudest is the weakest. You know? Very weak. But always remember, the loudest in the room is usually the weakest. It's the silent ones you have to watch out for. No bark, all bite. It's actual facts. And these individuals, see, y'all keep talking about voting. You see these goofies who, excuse the name calling, but that's what they are. Trump ain't nobody. Pam Brody, Don Brody, all of them are nobody. It's the ones that's controlling them. CIA, they ain't nobody. FBI, they're puppets. Some believe in the lie they've articulated. Enough whistleblowers have come out of all these consortiums, the police department, to show you that the majority of people there have bought into the lies, and they have become, and they walk in it affluently, and you're not going to change them. That's why I say the importance of changing stuff. Confidence is silent. Insecurities are loud, right? Confidence, you know what I'm saying, is silent. Insecurities are always going to be loud. Sometimes loud doesn't have to be boisterous. Loud can be in someone's actions that are oblivious to most, but seen by the few. The ones who see it, it's not meant for them to see it. That's the one, those are the ones doing the devious should really be paying attention and be careful how they walk. Things are changing. A set of warning. We are already in a time when the warning has not been heard or seen. It's been loud all over the place. You've accepted fluoride and glyphosate and all those things as the precursors to your destruction, when it's not that. You didn't have anybody to guide you and say, do this. Well, how to go? What's that guy who exercises when you want to do these? Well, you don't have individuals jumping up saying, do these. Thank you, hon. They're not going to donate. They don't, you know, it's a system. It's a corporate in-depth. There's an in-depthness in the spirit and the soul of individuals. It doesn't matter how much is stated or put forward. People are going to cringe and hold on to the things that destroy them. even if freeing themselves is an act of sharing for the benefit of receiving something that doesn't nullify them. I cannot curse anybody. Oh no, I mean, I'm not going to get into that right now. That's nobody's business. I was only doing that so they can see it for themselves and they can take their notes. What you're capable of is beyond the scope of anything. Yet, it's not for you to lash back. It's for you to move on. And sometimes they think that they've been allowing individuals to move on by sacramenting their death to the point where they feel like they can't come back. Sadly, they have bought into their own lies. For some of us, the fear of being close to others makes emotional intimacy challenging. We think intimacy means sex. No, it's a relationship we're all supposed to have. Like me telling Melanie, I'm gonna come down there and see you. She can't make heads of it. I don't care about protectors. I like to meet the people. They can get the energy, and sometimes it can be beneficial if it's given, meant to be. It's a magnificent, beautiful thing to meet people. And I've traveled the world. I've met people everywhere. I've done things that nobody's done. And it's a magnificent exploration. And people's ignorance, and it's not bad. Ignorance doesn't mean bad. I think I read it to y'all before. You just don't know. So for some of us, the fear of being close to others makes emotional intimacy challenging. And sometimes when I get around, I be like, no, cool out and keep your legs closed. It's not about that. It's not even about communication. It's not what it's about. It's about actually having a good relationship with the people around you. I could tell you, I met his wife, she's a beautiful woman, but it's about respect. Even if he wasn't there, even if it wasn't his wife, it's always going to be respect. I'm using an example. I have a plethora of people on the res out in Page who would tell you in a heartbeat, man, Brad, he's a hard one to get, man. I thought he was gay, blah, blah, blah. And they be like, okay, he's far from it. They'd be like, I'm just not, it's not that, it's not how, see, the world y'all live in is so intricately detailed in the phenomenon of dispersion, defeat by division, separation, the nostalgia of an ego that is based on fake supremacies and colorization, false ideologies and narratives is painted well over it. And it's not for me to break through that. It's not for me to chase you for you to get it, because sometimes if you chase people, they run away. No, it's for you to come out of your shells and come into a better understanding and break free of some things. There's some of you in relationships and everybody thinks it's a beautiful one, and it's dangerous. Some of you got people that drink too much. Their liver's jacked, their guts health's bad. They got brain fog and everything else, jealousy, this inaptitude, yet they still work, they still bring home cheddar, but you hide it as if it's beneficial, but you don't see it. That quietness that's loud that you see is always a danger, but it's not for me to mention it. You've got to free yourself from these things. So anyway, challenging, right? Such anxieties often centered around feelings of vulnerability, inadequacy, or fears related to taking on responsibility. I would say 99% of you are afraid to take on a true responsibility, which negates a true freedom, because you all don't mind walking and being slaves. We had about 5 people who want to come here, and they really want to work the construction, good people. But youth in this new age brings a lot of stupidity. No will to want to better, but always seeking a dollar. You can have all the high hopes for individuals because you see something there that is promising, and they will turn around, and you can't get angry or mad at it. Well, animals get mad. No, they don't. Animals have souls. Everything has a source of light in it. Think about it. Your enemy made you look at everything as if you're the most important, while dismissing, devouring, and making everything around you deplorable. The disconnect is beyond anything you can even imagine. I don't hate nobody. There's certain things that I can't stand, so I use the term hate. Because if I was to hate, it would take about 1 million of you to even reach that form of hate. You really don't get it. Now I'm only being very quaint when I say 1 million. It's what if I did, I wouldn't retain what I'm capable of. I'm not shoe shocker. I don't mind saying the little things at this point. I never really did. Because at that time, most people couldn't listen because they were so caught up in themselves. Y'all keep giving energy to the wrong things. That's why there's so much poor quality. Ideology of white and black. These fools that want to use this term African American for the original people of this land. You don't see the importance. And some would say, well, they're just trying to protect your lives and protect you from being genocide. Please. If all the so-called Negroes woke up, there's no standing army that could defeat them. Facts. They know it. Let's look at this now. And this, we're gonna use an overview because I want to. Let me see. Read that first or read this first. Let me make sure. The phrase fear has always. The phrase fear always has a reservation. It is not a common saying or standard English expression. It sounds like a metaphorical statement when you look at it. To understand its meaning, what we're going to do is we need to interpret the symbolism of fear. I keep telling you, symbolism. And a reservation, it's almost like it's a talk. What did I say the cross was? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. I don't have no fat. I've been eating nothing, so yeah. I'm moving forward on breath and tease. So anyway, it's talisman, okay? All right, anyway. So, and reservation, here's a possible interpretation. We're going to look at first fear. Fear notes that I put together using different overviews. Fear can be seen as a limiting belief or a state of anxiety that holds us back from taking action or pursuing our goals. It creates a barrier or obstacle in our path. A reservation. Well, you know there's many different interpretations about that. Okay, a reservation implies a condition, a set aside or holding back. Land, individuals. Sorry, but the tables are all bought and paid for. Yeah, anyway. It suggests I got an idea and a plan for you. I made some reservations. I'm making a reservation about your action and attitude. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, excuse me. It suggests something is not fully available or ready to be utilized. Therefore, fear always has a reservation. It could mean that fear is a constant presence that prevents us from fully engaging with life. Whatever you consummate or think life is. It's a barrier that we need to, I state that because I told you everything has life form, a source form in it. Ants, lizards, birds, whatever. Even the dragons that are buried under the ground and the ones hidden. It's a barrier that we need to overcome before we can truly live. Even the air has a life force. The sun and the moon are souls. The sky, the reason why I share that stuff with you, because you need to look beyond the lie of your existence and look into the truth and have a conviction instead of this anxiety, the fluoride, the nitrates, all the things that most people lean on for an excuse. Anyway, a barrier that we need to overcome before we can truly live. Be creative or achieve our full potential. Again, let me read that from the tip. Fear always has a reservation could mean that fear is a constant presence that prevents us from fully engaging with life. It's a barrier that we need to overcome before we can truly live, be creative, or achieve our full potential. This is what it's blocking you from. In essence, look how y'all that hold on to $1 don't want to donate. I look at the two brothers I had to go and knock in their head because they said something really stupid, but they don't think. It's not, I don't hate them. It's because they committed to an unnatural act. But it's if you sustained it, I got to cut you loose. Those who live and move in a lie are unimportant to me because you show that you are unimportant to yourself. In essence, the phrase highlights the way fear can hold us back and prevent us from fully experiencing the world and ourselves. I will always attack that, but I don't have to yell and scream. I am really that silent guy that's in the corner. I can say that because enough people know me to know that I am. I don't like all this talking. It's a reminder that we often have to confront and overcome our fears. That's the reason why I talk and mess with everybody. I had a fear because I always thought myself to be not dangerous, but yeah. It's a reminder that we often have to confront and overcome our fears before we can truly move forward and achieve our goals. Here are some additional ways. I had to stop because there might be like some ego sticks, and it's not. I just want to be honest. As honest as I can be. Anyway, here are some additional ways to think about the phrase fear as a constraint. Fear acts like a reservation on our potential, limiting what we can do and become. Now, fear is a condition. Y'all should know this one very well. We can't look at the COVID, that fake ass shot is killing people. We can't fully enjoy our participate in something unless we address the fear associated with it. Fear as a barrier. Fear creates a barrier between us. Look at the people who think they're in control here, doing all this stuff. They really think that's power. And because you comment, they've been told one thing or another, or they don't want to believe, or they think everything's perfect because they got a certain way they live, and or they don't, or they're partaking things. It doesn't matter to those of us who really know. They're in the dilemma, the Stockholm syndrome. I'm not here to stop that. I don't care. If they're that weak, it gives me hope for you guys. That's a weakness. Trust me. Look at the individuals over on TikTok blocking people's account. Now they don't tell you, but they think you read the crap. And it's talking about if you're saying white and black, all this goopy stuff. And so they get rid of your account. No, they're fear. They're scared. Whether they like it or not. And they'll sit up in front of you. No, they're not. Oh, yes, they are. I overcame. They are afraid. Ultimately, the phrase is a metaphorical reminder that fear often acts as a constraint on our lives, and we need to be aware of and address it to overcome these limitations. Most of you are not willing to be honest and articulate in the fashion, like reasonable, articulable speech for one another, to be able to overcome your fraudulent fears. Listen to my communities in the world, in America, calling yourself indigenous, this, that, and other. You're not indigenous here, but it doesn't write you away. A lot of things have happened. There's a reason why I've read most of the things that I've read. Is for you to do due diligence, find out, and be honest and sincere. Well, after the Spanish conquest of the Americas, colonial populations, including European settlers and enslaved Africans, wrong, lie. But what are Africans? The light-skinned folk. Grew significantly, replacing and often displacing indigenous populations, which were pretty much Afro-indigenous people. You got to be careful because you got to remember the people that program a lot of things. Now, I have another article that points to this fact. I'm going to use this consortium that likes to still be part of the deniability, the complexities of race, ethnicity, and all the other lies based on those who call themselves everything other than what they truly are. This growth was fueled by migration, natural increase, and the imposition of labor systems, leading to diverse and increasingly complex societies. Expansion and population growth. Excuse me if I'm sounding a little loud. It's draining too. European colonization following the voyages. Did y'all see what they tried to make Christopher Columbus? What in the world is wrong with these individuals, man? sting or something? Just to make sure, okay, because it's going dead. So they tried to. Let me see if I can find it in here, because this I'm going to show you how they lie. Okay, they did it again. They are always updating and lying. We're going to say lying. Okay? You know they say Christopher Columbus' name is Angelica and Angelicalized, whatever. We already know the real name of the individual who came here. He was a melanated person. We met him on several occasions over in so-called fake Europe, because it ain't that far from here. He didn't come as a conqueror and everything else. That's why they have the Papa Bull and the fake Vatican and all this other stuff. I'm calling things as they are. I don't have to curse them out. Okay? All right? So they tried to say that Christopher Columbus' name was Salvador Fernando Zarco. It's not. Salvador Fernando Zarco, by the definition of Amor, was as dark as midnight. So we know the Angelicalized, whatever, it's whitewash history by the narrative, okay? That is Christopher Columbus. They tried to say that one was the same. Don't buy into it, because when they never said nothing beforehand. That was never even in the history books. Nowhere, libraries or anywhere. I put the name out there 30 years ago. People were like, what? Nobody was saying nothing, because some people have to hold on to their fake identity and what they're indebted to, right? But this is what I'm talking about. I had to pull that up because, you know, it's important based on the story that has to be told. Okay, now let me go back over here. I'm going to make sure I got all the information right. Okay, I don't want to just be reading anything. So, when they say following the voyages of Christopher Columbus, we know what the truth is. This is the part of the lie. Spain and Portugal established colonies in the Americas. Spain and Portugal. Followed by France and England. They all attacked us at the same time. They couldn't beat us. And the Netherlands. Yes, and the Netherlands. These European powers established settlements with diverse motivations, including economic gain, religious freedom, and political ambitions. These, and the dates are wrong too. These are part of the first reset, and those would be diabolical to in creating that reset. Wind's blowing, ain't it? I love it. So, migration. European settlers, including the English, French, Dutch, and Spanish, migrated to the Americas in large numbers. These settlers came from various backgrounds, including religious dissenters, land-hungry farmers, and those seeking economic opportunities. Okay? Russia's part of it. The enclave was so-called Alaska. Forced labor, enslaved Africans, all lies, were imported to Americas. As y'all know, they were indentured Slavs. This is how they rewrite history. Those individuals with the, not Marco Zorro, but you know what I'm talking about. To be befitting of the whitewashing of history and implementation of those who never really accomplished anything. It's not beating you up. I've got to keep it in facts. Forced labor. They say it enslaved Africans. We know that's not true. I have 3 or 4 books showing you who's working the cotton fields. Light-skins with lashes, tar and feathered up into the 1940s, even beyond up into the 70s, tar and feathered. I've got photos and things that would drive most of y'all stir crazy. Even some videos. I can show you what they did with their experiments in the asylums that weren't asylums at all, but places where we utilized to make sure all our young ones had trades and knew how to build and carpentry and the true masons. Not Masonic, but brick carpenters and all that other. I got so much stuff that even the government would run if I was sitting there in front of them. Yeah, get out of here with your freaking lies. So, imported to the Americas in large numbers to replace dwindling indigenous labor and work on places. Everywhere you go, the indigenous population look like people in Papua New Guinea, Australia, Fiji's, even the original people of Hawaii. When you look at the king and queen who are dispersed from there, they've allowed themselves to be whitewashed. All right, we can keep going on to the Andaman Islands, Cuba. We can go all the way down Brazil, Guyana, not Ghana, right? All the way down to Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic. We can all, even the island, Easter Island, Papua New Guinea. The people here in Louisiana are strong up all the way up to Canada. Eradicate and kill off those Twas in Ireland and Scotland. Well known in the last resort of the London Bridge is falling down. By definition, not just drawings. So we just bump that goofy AI controlled, deliberate, dumb. You would think that they would change it and make it right, but it's fear. I saw this idiot talking to Roland Martin, this individual, talking about, yeah, the Egyptians were white. And I was like, there is a serious disease that can't be shaken, that you're the only ones that could change it. So natural increase, the colonial population, they pretty much tell themselves right there. But anyway, natural increase, the colonial population also grew through natural increase. I didn't have to say anything about, Ben Franklin talking about, why should we bring more Africans here when it's already like Germany, make it more swarthy here? They were doing their best to get rid of it. But if you believe in that, Benjamin Franklin was a Negro. George Washington was a Negro. He wasn't the president, nor was he what people have made him out to be. It's a false history. I don't care how you feel. Spirit of 1776, my foot. Anyway, 1776 ain't that long ago, people. And they always want to talk about 1600s, James. That was the first thing, just like they did when they went to Palestine before they went off and started doing the things they there. They did the same thing here. We just whooped their behinds a lot. But anyway, yeah. So look, the colonial population also grew through natural increase, meaning births exceeded deaths, particularly in areas where European settlers and enslaved Africans were concentrated. The only reason why you made it because most of the Pelicans were dying in their 30s. Because you were with us, not no Africans. We helped populate that land over there too. You can see it in their face, their movement, and some families are actually starting to speak up. Oh yeah, go to TikTok and be like, yeah. Okay. Demographic shifts. The colonial population experienced significant demographic shifts, including the decline of indigenous populations due to disease and forced labor. Not all the diseases are man-made, and trust on me, okay? Or whatever you want to call them, okay? Including the decline of indigenous populations due to the disease and forced labor and the rise of mixed race populations through interactions between Europeans, Africans, and indigenous people. All lies. Remove the African stuff. Only 600 Africans came here and they weren't slaves. Y'all know that? I'm being serious. They were part of those same popes kissing feet. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing we'll get into later. So, decimation. Introduction of European diseases such as smallpox and measles, man created them, Marcus Aurelius, decimated indigenous populations in America. Even caused some of us in the Americas get what's called, what's prodigy, sickle cell. I don't want to get into Henrietta Lacks. Or how about the brothers got the oldest Y genes out of Georgia? Anyway, forced labor and assimilation. Native populations were subjected to forced labor systems such as the Encomienda, or whatever it's called, and Mitra, right? And were often forced to assimilate into European culture. That's a lie, because European culture was a Negro culture. As you see, our culture is the world over. I don't care where you go, where it is, what's going on. Our culture is practiced by everybody on earth. Resettlement and missions. Indigenous populations were sometimes forcibly resettled into new villages or missions, leading to the loss of traditional lands and ways of life. Loss of. They ain't saying still holding on, they got a language, this, that, and other. That only sounds like one group of people here. And the Negro of America is not an African. There's more than enough information alluding to this fact that we're not your Negro, but that's how, and that still points to the lucrativeness it has my back, that's all. The lucrativeness of this disease, this parasitical narrative that people keep fighting for based on colorization, this, that, and other. My Mexican brothers and sisters, you don't have to accept whatever, I don't care. The original people of Earth didn't all have straight hair. Far from it. Okay? We weren't fair-skinned. Plenty of us got blue, green, and hazel eyes and always have. Mine's a light brown. When I was younger, I looked more red. Okay? The enemy needs you at each other's throats and necks. That way you can't focus on what they're doing. Because you're running around in colorization, ethnicities, not knowing what really happened. Because if you knew the truth, y'all stop allowing fluoride and everything else. You would, yeah. But anyway, when we look at the emergence of the colonial societies, which is nothing but a corporate, and y'all see that now, a corporative narrative. The colonial population was increasingly diverse with different European ethnic groups, enslaved Africans' lives, in addition to populations coexisting. When they took us to Spain, to Cordoba, right? When they took us to Mallorca, when they took us to, listen, when they took us to Europe, France, it wasn't no Mongols, it was us. They were already in Russia and Siberia. They were already part of the fighting forces of the Ashkenaz and the Turks and the Ottoman Empire. People don't notice because you never traveled and you know no real history. You haven't seen them. When you look at Chechnya and all these new places, they're there. They fought us. They came here, but they took the trouble they had to establish and make agreements and covenants of lines. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I just wanted to read that to you because there are more and more individuals, and even though they're still stuck with this black and it's out of Africa and this, that, and other, there are more and more who are like Hiramio. I think he was one of a kind in the beginning, but there are brothers who I grew up in Puerto Rico, family, everything. They know who the original people of the lands are. But they don't dismiss nobody. It seems like those of us who didn't dismiss somebody in the beginning, who were being dismissed by the very people who weren't even supposed to be here, now everybody's starting to see. But that needs to stop too. Sour sop has this natural sweetness. Oh my goodness. It is so good. I don't expect nobody to donate. Trust me. You hold them, keep your little 50 cent, your little dollar or whatever. I'm not worthy for a lie. And the dollar is a lie. Anyway, it helps if y'all donate. I appreciate it. But regardless of that, anybody else come in? Because I don't. Snow. Hey, what's up, baby girl? Hey, mama. Hawa, yeah. Marcus. Let's see. She just came in talking about some Hawa. That's all you had to say, girl. I was living in New Zealand. They were building those bunkers like crazy in the late 90s. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. That's why a lot of people want to go to New Zealand. They feel like that's going to be the safest place. to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Daniel, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking, bro? You know what I'm saying? Okay, just wanted to shout everybody out and shout out everybody. Excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty sad. You know what I'm saying? I know, yeah, baby girl slaughter is crazy in Texas, everywhere. And then hey, millennial, I appreciate it, hon. Hey, Asia, how you doing, hon? How you doing, mama? I got my baby girl up in here. I guess she's working. I saw her at work yesterday. I was sending a message, anything. Anyway, right? The thing is, if we hold ourselves in contempt to one another, with no education, no fluidity, I hate the word education because it didn't exist at one time, but the nurturing of who we are to bring ourselves into another whole. How many people are talking about you need to sin? The things that you have to do, the fight has to be the good fight compared to the bad fight that we've been doing over and over and over and over. And when I say there are agents out there, you need to know what I'm really saying. There are these apparitions that are very weak, emotional, irrational. They've been vetted, vented, and created and established, and they will move in that dynamic. I don't have to name call them. I don't have to bad mouth and shock and awe and all that nonsense. They show by their actions. And then they have fake medicine to give them fake labels based on the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? I just thought I'd read some of that stuff to you. If I was going to talk that way, I'd rather you, oh wow, I do that. And also you want to give me notifications like, anyway, because no, there has to be a change. And it has to start with you guys. It can't start with nobody else. You know, my Cashapp, right? If I remove a certain amount, leave change in there. This is how crazy it is. They're taking the little change and they're rounding it up for Apple. I never signed on to Apple, y'all, for none of that. It's just like that thing, that iron, and I'm over there looking at it, and all of a sudden I get the Apple and Eve. I didn't order that. I had to go in the shop and stop the order, and I still got a second bottle. Mike, this dumb bank, America First, sitting there talking about, like I'm gonna pay $130-something for a bottle of that crud. This is how corrupt the system is. And people can't even think rationally. I know how to make all this stuff legitimately. How many of y'all saw this fake sexy red walking in this disgraceful thing holding money with this individual in black dress? Did y'all really pay attention to what was going on? And then she threw up this, that if y'all paying attention to that and you're gonna get stuck there showing and talking about it, you're not doing anything beneficial for yourself to remove all that. You're still moving in that dynamic. And I know I'm talking about some of you because some of y'all get on something. You forget the dude that looked like a female that stepped on the glass that said she was shot in the foot and somebody's locked up innocently. Forget these individuals who are into bloodletting and a whole lot of things y'all don't know about these parties, man. I do. They should have been getting on their knees and bowing down in front of me. But regardless of that, right? Y'all have no idea. And then y'all run off with this stuff and you take off. You're robbing yourself when you haven't even allowed yourself to walk in your truth. I'm not beating you up. I'm just pointing out some things that I'm very aware of. You cannot not listen. You cannot not hear it and it not affect you. That's a fact. I'm very aware power of words and all this. I love power. I hate that. I don't like that word. But yet, if you want to take back, whether in increments, and you ain't got that long, your source of what you are, Stop focusing on that which is evil or good and be the light of your existence. Can darkness appear in light? But is darkness really bad? To not have nothing and be everything the something that you are? The light that is true? Until you cut the umbilical cord of lies, you will stay subservient to a sack of nonsense that keeps feeding you the poison that you move around in lucratively. Now, you could take that and put it on a t-shirt or something, because you know, when I do decide to put some sweatsuits out there, ain't nobody got nothing on me, because mine's gonna be embroidered, silk screen, all kind of stuff. Yeah, like a new clothing wear. And then I gotta be up in here to get this stuff, because all the top designers be like, yo, can I buy that for like $5 million? I told you I made and won. I really did. 1985 USS Nimitz out there in World Cruise, sitting there drawing it in the birthing compartment before going to my coffin. They call the coffin to sleep. They need to keep death in your head. I created and won. It don't matter what you think or believe. I am the original, authentic creator of the idea, drawing it down as a b-boy, a hip-hop breakdancer, taking it around the world, France, Japan, everywhere. I am the one that created it. But you see what they do. And y'all sit here thinking you know me, and you don't. I went home, my brother Dwight goes, he took me to this place called Foreman Mills. What's this? I was just getting over the fact that I was eating crystals when I grew up eating White Castles. And I go over there, and the first thing I walk in, I say, hey, man, hey, this is my stuff. Dwight was like, I wanted you to see it. Somebody stole my idea and sold it. So I guess Nike, to make a cheap brand, when it would have been a top contender. This is how weak they are. So if you can't donate 50 cents or a dollar to the cause of, I'm hoping Ganja has something come in. I hope it's a tarp for that greenhouse. We can get it in the hole. I got to take the jackhammer. I'm fasting, so I'm a little weak. Not weak like what you think. I could turn it up for a few hours, but so we can get it in the ground and we can get some PVC pipes. If that's the case, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's his mail. We protect, just like we protect this land and we walk clean it. We protect everything around it. And I protect those. It's what I've always done. I'd rather be out there in a little shed without nobody knowing what I'm doing, moving the way I need to move with no cell phone. Come down there and get the cell phone. I almost did that. I almost took some wood up there, built a little quick shed, put a little cot in, and be in there, just me. But no, this is better. Because I have to deal with some things. You know, I was a loner for a long time. Not an introvert, by the definition. Just somebody that couldn't share everything. I still can't share certain things. It's just the way it is. But I got to finish this fast, okay? I'll be back on at 4:30. Hopefully Mac means I'll chat with him and we'll set something up next month. A little live to talk about Islam, religion. And the reason why I made that post, that if I was, it would be Islam. If I were to practice a religion, it would definitely be Islam. The most hospitable, righteous, beneficial. And I ain't talking about look, you have the Ashkenaz who practice a religion. They don't own land, this, that, and other. Yet they looked at what happened, they followed it, they don't like it. They're really about ascension in whatever it is, the converts, right? Just like that, you have those in Afghanistan or places that if you go up in the neighborhood, they're not going to smite you. They're going to protect you. It's part of who they are compared to what the enemies of all life have created. This phobia, Islamophobia is real. It needs to stop, but you have this base of all these other narratives that is hampering and harmful, and people can't see through it. So Trump got in office. You got these individuals who are racist or whatever. Just the most phonetically dumb individuals I've ever seen. But that's not, should be none of your focus. You should be able to deal with it if it comes upon you. Yet, and righteously so. I will set that up with my brother Mac Mean. Check him out. Go subscribe to this channel. All right. Mac Mean should be over 500 million. I should be up over 200,000 easily. But like I said, it's the idiots on here, the cowards. The cowards. The scared ones. No, seriously. And some other melanated Negroes who are too to get it. And really building a true, not building, stepping back into the foundation of existence for a better elemental elevation. But they're so consistent with the world of destruction. Most of y'all can't see it. When I tell you there's feds involved in this, I know it's hard for you to accept it. I'm not asking you to receive it with open arms. I'm saying you really need to pay attention because they're weak. They move stupid. Okay? Anyway, I appreciate y'all. And stop living check to check. At least show that you gain something for whatever you spent. Now, if you're going out partying and drinking and da-da-da all the time, stop polluting your liver and messing with your kidneys. Gain some self-control. Because how can Bill Gates own all the farmland here with Alexa China and everybody else when it's our earth? Make it make sense with a worthless dollar. The game is aloof. Hell, y'all don't even have the potato sack to tie both your legs together and get together and hop as a family. It's sad. All right, so I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go and sit in this sun or this whatever it is, and see you guys at, I guess, 4:30. Appreciate y'all. All right.